Alrighty, welcome back everybody to my new tutorial video. This one is going to be in two parts, the flashlight save tutorial and a little bit behind juking the killer. I have a couple new friends to the game, so I just wanted to make a quick video explaining some different techniques and things you can do in the game that are a little more higher skill cap, but something to start working towards. Now, like I said, the first part of this video is going to be the flashlight tutorial. I don't have any like very clean footage of just straight up flashlight saves, so I'm taking this quick clip from the King. He's a very good DVD player. He plays a lot of Trapper. He's a very good player. He does a lot within the community. As you can see, I already subscribed to him, so he's a really good guy, and I'm just taking this footage from this video. All credit from this video, or this footage from this clip here, will go to him. So this first part here is just going to show very quickly what a direct flashlight save would be. Now, noting the timing is going to be the same every time unless you have a different colored flashlight. The purple one blinds a little bit quicker, and some add-ons blind quicker too. There are different angles you can get flashlight saves, and this is kind of the general timing of what you're going to want to do. You'll notice a pattern in the killer pickup animation that the majority of them have is their heads will be bent over a lot of times. Deathslinger's is a little bit weird because he keeps his head up most of the time, but in this case you're going to have to judge it on his shoulder, or like me, you'll figure out the timing while you play. You can see that as soon as his arm starts to come up to, I guess, level, that's when you can start. But that's just a very quick, clear image. Now we're going to go to one of my clips. Now this one, I believe, is the faster one. Yes, this is a close-up of what one of the flashlight saves would mostly look like. When you go up to him, see how his head is tilted, and as soon as he tilts his head back up, that's when you should start the blind. You could see very closely how he's starting to tilt his head back up, and that's when I start the blind. Now I can do that in a little bit slower motion here. Maybe you can see it a little bit easier. When he goes to pick up, as he tilts his head back up is when you can start blinding. Now the reason why there's a timing for the flashlight saves is because if you do it too early, it'll blind the killer but not stun them, and if you do it too late, the killer can look away. An instance of that would be this clip right here. I still get the blind, but this is a little bit late. Notice how I do end up blinding after the threshold, and the killer even starts moving forward during that time period. On PC, that's not going to really slide against any sentient killer. Right before I even blind him, he starts moving forward. He could just look up on PC, keyboard and mouse. It's so much easier. So on PC, that would have been a failed blind towards any killer who is sentient at all. So it's a little bit harder on PC to get the timings correct. Another thing that's worth mentioning, every time I go in for a blind here, you'll see I'm trying to hide away from the killer's view and not directly in front of them. Because obviously if the killer sees you coming with a flashlight, they're not just gonna pick up and, let you do that. This is another example of as soon as she is picking her head from the left side up, I start the blind and it'll get the blind on her. Then you can also go for chain blinds after, but that's to help get your teammates away. Here's another example of the timing. You'll learn it as you play. It's just kind of, for me, I don't have to see it. You'll see that here in a second. Here's a pretty clear example of blinding, how he's picking his head up from tilting and starting the blind. This one right here is probably the most perfect blind I'm showing in this video. It is at the exact threshold of when he's turning his head, and now you can't do anything about that. Now, take for granted this is a purple flashlight, so I do have to adjust to the timing a tad bit. It's not that much, but if you do blind at normal times with the purple, you will hit it too early. So that's one thing to also note. This right here will explain and show you how with practice comes efficiency. I don't even have to see the Legion moving his head to just know the correct timing. As you can see there, all of this grass and stuff there, the corn, I could not see his head, and that was more of a shot in the dark, but that's just timing that you learn. Which one is this one? I think here's another example of not having to see the killer's face to know the timing. This one here, don't mind the shitty visual effects, because I thought it was cool when I was making this video almost a year ago. But here's another example of me hiding so the killer wouldn't see, because you can tell he's looking around. Then he goes for the pickup. As soon as he's picking his head up from the tilted position upwards, I start my blind. Again, with a chain blind, it'll help our teammate run away. That's an extra couple seconds of the killer being blind. And from them getting stunned, it's a little harder to hear. Here's the one I was saying where I messed up. So those are kind of how you're going to want to blind in DVD. It takes a lot of practice. Don't use any add-ons other than batteries and low amp filament. If you want to just meme around for no reason at all and just throw on the grips, that's fine by me. I mean, obviously, you do what you want to do. I'll just run them to run them because I have them. When it comes to like the different lenses and stuff, the sapphire lens and the odd bulb and the intense halogens are not really meant for flashlight saving. They end up screwing up my time because they do help blind quicker. Those are more for palette blinding with iron will or palette blinding without being injured. So I don't run them, otherwise they screw up my timing. Because like I said, one, if you do it too early, the killer will get blinded, but not drop the survivor. And if you do it too late, they can just look away. So that'll be it for the flashlight blinding tutorial. Now on to the juking tutorial. It is very hard to explain juking. It's definitely something you just learn from playing. And I just found this clip I had from Bullying a Legion. I have a time where I juke the killer 6 times straight out in the open, and I use a bunch of different methods instead of the same juke over and over. So the first one here is where you would whip your camera one way and then continue on. I also faked it a little bit there, so he thought I was gonna go left, and then spun around him and kind of dramatized my spin. That's the first one. This second one here is you fake spin, and it gets the killer to think you're gonna spin. Like right here, this is that little thing. He's kind of like, oh. This next one here is more of the abusing hitboxes kind of one, or abusing how hits work, because you will spin first, and it cuts, because the game recognizes that as a hitbox, because hitboxes aren't exactly direct in this game. It makes the killer, where was it? A lot of times, it'll make him swing early when doing that one. Not that one, it's the next one, I think. Nope, this is a little fake. And this next one here, it kind of brings the killer and moves him off a little bit. You can do that 2 ways. You can spin and then spin around the killer. That one's harder and definitely something I don't do often, but you can. This next one here is just, again, faking one direction and then spinning the other. And then, what's this last one? This is exactly the one I was talking about, where you fakes, or you do a spin right here. You spin and then spin around the killer. And then I think, no, I did another one where I faked it one direction, and then I think this is where I get caught here. I tried doing the one where you spin and then spin around the killer. My thoughts were he was going to swing, but no, I just ended up spinning twice in front of him and getting hit. I know that's a lot to kind of take in, because a lot of this stuff isn't something you can just get overnight and understand, but a lot of it is faking one direction, or abusing how, what's the word? Auto aim. abusing how auto aim works. That's a lot of how spins work. They're not going to be your go-to thing. Obviously, pallets, windows, and loops are going to be your go-to. These are more like a last resort. You can see in this situation, when I went to start healing him, or not healing him, went to juke him, I had 2 teammates down. There's no pallets in sight. I'm pretty screwed here. There's no windows, so my last resort would be to spin the killer. And of course, there was a vault right there, but in the time I didn't notice and I didn't really think about it, so I was just doing the best I could to, juke out the killer. And then I inevitably get caught because spinning isn't your go-to safety measures. So hopefully some of those things help with understanding the higher techs in the game, that was being spinning the killer or 360s, 180s, whatever you want to call it, and flashlight saves. Hopefully this video helps a little bit about that, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Hope you guys have a good day, and stay true. It's not my outro, but I couldn't think of anything.